Whenever you're ready, I'm ready too.
Okay. Friday the 11th, 2 weeks before my graduation and my 21st birthday, I received a phone call that would change my life forever. I'm Aubrey, and today I'd like to tell you about how I learned how not to take my life for granted, or my friends and family, or even the small simple things. April 4th, about a month before that phone call, I was diagnosed with cervical epithelial neoplasia. For those of you who are not familiar with this, it is basically a cell that potentially has the ability to grow into cancer. This is easily treated, and it just takes a simple procedure, so it wasn't that big of a deal. My doctor told me that it was fine to wait until after graduation to have the surgery, and so I did, but not before agreeing to having a biopsy done. So, on that night of the 11th, at 8 p.m., my doctor calls me. Friday, at 8 p.m. You know that that is never a good thing when your doctor is phoning you. She told me to sit down. So I sat and started to sweat because I was freaking out. She said, "Aubrey, you have severe hyperactive cervical dysplasia with active epithelial lesions that is probably malignant and easily metastasized." Now you guys are probably thinking, what the hell is that? So then she went on to say, "Aubrey, you have cancer, probably stage 2 or 3 from what I can tell." The next thing I know, I'm wearing a sweater and I'm 10 minutes away on my friend David's doorstep. He's one of my best friends and will always have a place in my heart. I showed up there and he was smoking a cigarette of all things. I grabbed it, put it out, and laid my head on his lap. I sat there for the next 2 hours, thinking about what I hadn't gotten to do, where I hadn't gotten to go, and what I regretted in my life. I cried, and we didn't say a word. I realized at that time that in just one moment, with just one phone call, your entire life can be taken away from you. That is why I learned how to not take life for granted. That summer, I had 2 surgeries. One good and one not so good. The first one went extremely well, and the second one, my heart stopped for 2 minutes and 37 seconds. They later said that it was due to anesthesia and the stress from my first surgery. I woke up 3 days later from my coma to my friend Casey reading me the Webster's Dictionary of all things. He said, "Hey," like nothing had happened, and told me that he was reading me the dictionary in order to keep me educated for when I woke up, and also to torture me out of my coma. We laughed. After that day, he became my shadow. He got me my prescriptions, he took me to the doctors, he took me to the hospitals. He bought me breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 4 weeks straight and slept on my couch. He threw me a belated birthday party after 17 weeks of recovery because I didn't get to have my 21st. And also carded a "F-U cancer" party. Casey and David, among other people, taught me never to take my life for granted. They taught me that family and friends is probably the most valuable thing that you'll have in your life, and that if they need you, you need to be there. During my 17 weeks of recovery, I was stuck in bed, the first 6 weeks, at least. I couldn't walk, or jog, or swim, or even go down my second to my first floor. I missed everything. I missed moving, I missed laughing, I missed seeing my friends, I missed drinking beer. I missed partying, but I missed being able to walk, mostly. So 2 weeks in, I decided that I was going to take up a new sport. I was going to run a mile every day, and I was going to eat from now on like I wanted to live until I was 500 years old. During these moments, I thought about all the little things that I hadn't done, the little things that I wanted to do, and the things that I wanted to keep doing. This made me realize that you can never take for granted walking up that flight of stairs. I know it sucks, it's a pain, but you're there. You get to do it. So I underwent 2 surgeries, a 3-day coma, and a painful amount of medicine to get here. Mind you, didn't taste very well most of the time. Today I'm here because of those things and because of these people. I'd like to share with you a quote by Dr. Seuss that I found when I was reading one of his books, because yes, I was that bored, I was reading Dr. Seuss. He reminds me, and this experience reminds me, to never take for granted a single breath, sunrise, or staircase that you get to climb up. I'm grateful every day for everything that I've gotten to do, and I'm grateful that I will continue to get to do it.